One thing I know about the truth is that the more you try to suppress it, the more it finds its way to come out right at a time when we all least expected it. Coming up. Well, just as I said on my previous video where I spoke about the defunding of our generals and of course their National Defence Force, including our South African Navy, by the ANC and its criminal cartels, guess what? Minister Angie Motshekga and Fikile Mbalula have come out with their guns blazing, attacking our Vice Admiral Monde Lobese because of what he said on the gala dinner on the gala dinner just recently. Well, of course, Admiral Monde Lobese had come to end of his rope when he tried everything he could do to communicate the problems that he's facing within our South African Navy, but to no avail. And ultimately, just like all these other generals, he ended up blasting out all the truth during the gala dinner over the weekend.
The chief of the Kenyan Navy mentioned that a week before coming to Australia, his Navy caught a ship from East Asia that was carrying a large consignment of drugs, which was destined for Mozambique. And you will agree with me that Mozambique was not the final destination, but maybe South Africa was. The Philippine chief also brought to my attention the fact that on continuous basis, they arrest ships carrying drugs whose destination is Southern Africa. So what I am stressing is that our prolonged absence at sea due to non-availability of serviceable ships and submarines, all because of under-resourcing of our Navy, should concern you as fellow South Africans. I often find myself questioning whether those responsible for making significant decisions, particularly regarding the funding of our defense force, if they may be directly or indirectly influenced by these drug cartels, illegal traders, maritime criminals, and human traffickers. Because it will appear that this consistent underfunding and incapacitating of the South African Navy and the Defense Force in general is to ensure the success of the operations that undermine our nation, compromise its sovereignty, and jeopardize the future of our children. The unpatriotic and what appears to be a sellout posture of defunding the SA Navy and the SANDF in general leaves me with a question of whether the people behind what I would like to call nonsense, if they are not busy with a mission to privatize the SA Navy and the SANDF, seeing that the private security is a lucrative business in our country and it is replacing the state security machinery. We must refuse this kind of unconstitutional policy decisions. I am telling you today that should the SA Navy's roles fall into private hands, and the same government that is today telling us that there is no money to fund the Navy, they will use the government reserves to fund those private security forces. To add salt to this wound, attempts have been made by certain government departments to bring a foreign company to come patrol our waters. As the Navy, we rejected this sellout and unpatriotic decision. Maritime security narrative is about protecting our way of life. Our oceans define who we are. It feeds our people, sustains our economy, and connects us to other nations through the Indian and Atlantic Ocean. When our maritime domain is secure, our nation stands secured. But for that, we must first secure ourselves from within through good governance, coherent laws, accountable institutions, and leaders who put national interests above competition and personal greed.
And of course, Fikile Mbalula and Angie Motshekga are not taking it. They are so infuriated. So Angie Motshekga wrote a hot letter, showing her dissatisfaction about the utterances of our South African Navy Admiral, Vice Admiral Monde Lobese. And the letter reads thus: the Department of Defense has noted with concern comments made by the Chief of South African Navy, Vice Admiral Monde Lobese, as a senior member of military command during the SA Navy Gala dinner held over the past weekend. During the delivery of his speech, Vice Admiral Lobese made an unfortunate statement that cast aspersions at the leadership of the government. Oh my goodness. And by the way, guys, Mr. Lobese, there's nothing wrong, he said. There is nothing wrong, he said. He spoke the truth just like all these other generals. The letter continues to say, during the delivery of his speech, Vice Admiral Lobese made an unfortunate statement that cast aspersions at the leadership of the government. The minister regards these remarks not only as inappropriate, disingenuous and unfortunate on a matter he is fully aware that is receiving attention at all levels, starting from within the department to parliament, yes. The minister regards these remarks not only as inappropriate, disingenuous, and unfortunate on a matter he is fully aware that is receiving attention at all levels, starting from within the department to parliament. The minister regards these remarks not only as inappropriate, disingenuous, and unfortunate on a matter he is fully aware that is receiving attention at all levels, starting from within the department to parliament. The problem is here, ANC and the parliament hasn't done anything about those complaints and about those issues that the generals are bringing it forward. It's not whether ANC knows about it or not. Of course ANC knows about it, but for the fact that they're not doing anything about it, that's what makes these generals to end up using any platform that is available to voice out their concern about their job. Now, the letter continues to say, the minister will be taking inappropriate steps to deal with this unfortunate outburst, worse still from a senior person at his level. The views expressed at the event do not reflect the official position of the department. Of course. Because these generals, guys, have been voicing out their concern on the rightful platforms, parliament, etc., but they were not succeeding. That's why they ended up voicing out this concern now on any platform they get. Hence, I said before that the amazing thing about the truth is that it always finds its way to pop up where it is least expected. So the ANC, with its criminal cartels, are trying by all means to oppress and suppress the truth that is happening within our national defense force, but the truth will always find its way to pop up in one way or another. And of course, just when we thought that things couldn't get any worse, Fikile Mbalula came and also blasted the Vice Admiral Monde Lobese. Listen to Fikile Mbalula here.
You know, South Africa is faced with a difficult situation of outbursts by people in security positions. This general was not speaking with the army or in the army, he was speaking in a party or something, I don't know. He was invited. I saw him with a very nice suit. But, yeah, it was a gala dinner. It's unheard of in the world that generals just address gala dinners and talk big things. No, man. It should be worrisome. This country has got a president whom we call President General, not President General. He's the what? Commander-in-Chief. The Commander-in-Chief. We've got what we call National Security Council in this country. You have generals outbursts. This is stuff that must be done, Maswanganye, by me and you. When we are in a party, we are not led here. I mean, we are not securocrats. Those comments we can make in a party as civilians up until we are guided by securocrats. Okay? And then two, we've got a parliament, a legislature. The issue of funding of our army and our security apparatus is like the army and the police. It's a sore point. Really, it is. When President Mbeki went for the arms deal, I don't know now, how are we going to answer the question, where are the Roy Falks and the things we got through the arms deal, the jets, and everything. So if I'm in the army, I'm going to tell everybody here that those things that we procured, we can't use them because we don't have personnel trained enough to pilot fighter jets, submarines. What am I doing? Is that not gross violation of state secrets and security? I can imagine an admiral of an army in a small country, I won't mention by name, going to TV and say we are naked. Those things are supposed to be said by Nongeba and other people who are civilians, who don't know anything. And then generals will quickly come in and say, no, you are making a mistake. Are these people fermenting tendencies of coup d'etats? They start like this. When generals become politicians overnight. One day we're going to be waken up in our rooms naked and arrested by these people.
That's Fikile Mbalula right there. He even went on to say that all these generals must be demilitarized. In other words, we mustn't be having General so-and-so, Major General of this and that and that and that. They should only just be commissioners of what, and commissioners of what, commissioners of defense, whatever. Yeah. Well, it is clear, guys, that the ANC wants to make sure that this country is totally defenseless, so that of course the criminal cartels can rule and reign, moving their proceeds of crimes and in and out of this country or province. It's clear that they really want to trash this country straight down to be a mafia state. Wow. Anyway, what do you think? Let me have your comment below. And of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.